content is king. So, as you guys may know, if you guys didn't already know, uh, I've been in the content space for the last 4 years. Really, for the last, since I was 14, so I'm 21, so whatever that math is on that. But I didn't really take it serious until about like 4 or 5 years ago, right? Well, 4 years ago to be exact, right? That's when I really took it seriously. Technically 2022, beginning of 2022 is when I took it seriously. I'm a little bit ahead of my time myself with time, but yeah, next year, February is gonna make 4 years that I've been into content, right? And I made my first 5 figures. I made multiple 5 figures with e-commerce, drop shipping, right? I made my first 5 figures actually with forex trading. Made some more, money with e-commerce, drop shipping, but I made 6 and 7 figures with content, which is why content is king, and it's gonna keep growing. Content is always gonna be the thing. Like content marketing, that is gonna be the thing that, like, if you know how to do those two things, content creating and marketing, you're gonna kill it in every industry that you go in. Because now, whether you're in the hospital industry, they need to market it to get a lot of customers, to get a lot of business, and they need to create content. You the content expert. Now, me personally, how I made my first 6 and 7 figures from content was from marketing, right? Now, I made 6 figures from doing brand deals, right? Brand deals, sponsorship. I made 7 figures from selling an offer about content creating and e-commerce, because those are the two things I had expertise in. And how did I do it? By creating content, creating content, giving value, showcasing stuff for free, and then which is actually some stuff that you learn in this book, $100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozi, right? It literally teaches you how to get strangers to buy stuff, how to get strangers to buy, how to get strangers to want to buy your stuff, right? That's what, I don't know why I started on that, but yeah, obviously starting up by creating content, giving genuine value, being yourself. Everybody has some sort of valuable story to give. I don't care if you're talking about a water bottle. You can talk about how this water bottle cap, how one day you realize the use of this little thing on a water bottle. That's content right there, right? So going into 2026, my point I'm trying to make here is pick up the camera and start recording, right? Make content, short form content, long form content. As you guys can see, I'm very new to this long form content stuff. I'm just literally picking the camera and I'm recording because I know it's the same thing I did with the short form platform and it went viral. It's the same thing that's gonna happen on long form, right? And if you're here before I hit 1 million subscribers, man, I want you to comment down below, man, because once I hit 1 million subscribers, I'm gonna do a huge giveaway to my early supporters. But that's besides the point, though. Yeah. So content creating, and with the involvement of AI, leveraging AI to become a better content creator, marketer, right? I don't know whatever the title of of that role is, but if you can leverage those 3 things and put it into one, you're going to make a fortune in 2026, 2027, and so on, right? Because now when you build because that's a high paying income skill. Just it on itself, if you just want to work with brands and do affiliates, you can be making high 6 and 7 figures just on itself, working 6 hours or less a day, right? Just being disciplined, 2 hours, 2 blocks of 2 hours, locking in and doing just that thing. Like, you are going to make a fortune going into 2026 if you're able to apply and follow this system, right? Study content creating, become so good at content creating, build your own personal brand, work with brands to market their products and services that aligns with your personal brand, or even market your own product and services, right? Now, with those skill set, you can go leverage it by working with other brands to help them grow their personal brand. And with that, you can charge them a fortune. Now you have a high paying job, because it is a job, right? You have a high paying job. Now, instead of you settling, you have a job that nobody can do, right? It's very hard to find someone that can do. Imagine a surgeon that is like the best surgeon in the world at doing something. Like, let's say doing eye surgery, and his success rate is like 99% or 100%. To pay that surgeon to come and perform eye surgery, you're gonna have to pay him a bag. So if you get so good at content creating, you can go work for a company. Obviously, there are other good content creators out there, but you have to be unique in your style of content that nobody can copy you. I was very unique in my style of content. If you go on my Instagram, look up Besco3, you scroll all the way down to when I was really being consistent at and making this like a priority. It's still a priority, but it's not on my top list, right? But when I was making it, when it was on my number one top list, when I was hungry for it, right, I was very unique with my style of content, right? In a way that nobody can copy your style of content nowadays, in the aspect of you putting your personality and how you execute the content, right? How you deliver it, how it makes people feel, right? So all of that, when you have that, you can go work with upcoming brands, business owners, help them scale their personal brand. Let's say you're able to, from beginning of January 2026 to June 2026, you're able to grow 1 million followers across all platforms, right? Spread out. And now your time is worth a lot more. You're getting a lot of brand deals. You're making about $20,000-$30,000 a month in brand deals. Now you can go look for a brand that can afford to pay you. Or you go get like 5 to 10 brands that can afford to pay you. You build a system, hire a team, and train the team on following those systems, right? The SOPs. And then now you just sit back, get a number of results. You got an agency where the brands are paying you 10 to 20K, or let's say 10K every 3 months, every quarterly, so 40K a month for you to script, shoot, and edit their content. 30 pieces of content a month, 120 pieces of content every 3 months, right? So a video per day, and they're growing their personal brand, they're growing their business, you're making the money, you have a team that you delegate to do the entire process from scripting. Find somebody to pay them $1,000, they'll script the entire 120 video scripts professionally done in a way that it will actually perform by going on the internet and finding, other people's videos. Another $1,000 to a cameraman to go and spend 2-3 days shooting with the business owners, right? And then the editor, probably another $2,000, right? Depending on where you find the editor. If you find a really, really, really good editor, then $2,000. But if it's an average editor, yeah, like maybe 1.5. But overall, your overhead is gonna be like 3.5 to 4K, and you put in $6,000 cold cash profit. Well, yeah. So if you get an account manager, you pay him $500 to post the content. Yeah, you profiting $6,000 cash profit, right? This all just from learning the skill sets like content creating. Now, the reason why you have to first learn the skill and not just jump straight into doing a content agency, which you could, I just broke down the business model to y'all, right? Running a content creation agency for business owners. The reason why you have to learn the skill first is because things can break in the business, and if things break, as a business owner, you're supposed to step up and take accountability and get stuff done when it needs to be, right? And if you barely know what you're doing and you have not done this before, you're basically a fraud, right? And you don't want to be a fraud. You want to actually provide genuine businesses, especially when you're dealing with business owners. So, with that being said, that's that right there. Tap into content. Content is going to change your situation going into 2026. It's another great business model that I think It's not being talked about enough, or a lot of people in the industry don't know how to fully maximize their potential with it, right? So yeah, with that being said, that's it about this video, and I'll see you guys to the top because the bottom is way too crowded. Peace.